Welcome back to It's in the Details. Please do remember to share, like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, in all of the places. The audio episodes are up and available pretty much anywhere you get podcasts. Looking ahead to this episode, I had a nice little conversation with one of my good buddies from going on over 20 years now. He is basically a brother to me, and we had a great conversation. It was very interesting how balanced it was, in that we talk about a lot of great heartwarming television, and he also brings up some really dark television and TV and movies. But it was interesting. It was interesting to dig into what kinds of things make him want to sit down and watch some of that really dark television. And I think the heartwarming, lighthearted stuff is pretty easy to understand why anybody's watching those things. Specifically for me, I do mention the Mandalorian in this episode, specifically how I am just humming the theme song as I walk around the house every day for the past week or so since I started season 2. I know some of the more fervent Star Wars fans may or may not really love The Mandalorian. For me, specifically from an entertainment standpoint, it's phenomenal. It's a great show. It's so much fun. Specifically, the details, surprise, surprise, specifically the details that they include in the show really do get me. One thing that stands out in particular is the end credits of every episode includes these storyboards of scenes and characters that they are using throughout that episode. And it's really interesting to see how much things have changed from when they created those storyboards to what actually ends up on screen. That's a particularly great thing about that show that I enjoy. And then just one little throwaway thing was in season 2, somewhere in the middle of the season, a ship ends up in the water. A spaceship ends up in the water. They have to crane it out, and the ship comes out covered in seaweed, and water is just pouring out of the ship. And for a weirdo like me, looking at how much seaweed they've decided to put on the ship, how much seaweed falls off of the ship as it gets craned out, and how much water pours out of the ship is just riveting to me for some reason. I have no idea how much water should be pouring out of a ship as it gets pulled out, but the amount they chose seems to be the perfect amount for you to think that's too much, but also just enough for you to think it's believable. It's believable. So those are the kinds of things I'm paying attention to when I'm watching TV or movies, and thus the creation of this show. Back to our guest for today, my boy Raheem Daramshi, great friend, great husband, great father, great son, great brother. I love him. He's the best. I can't imagine maneuvering through this world without him. He's my right-hand man. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope you learned some new things. I hope it makes you want to watch some new things, and enjoy it. So up next, our guest, Raheem Daramshi.
Let's do it.
Raheem Daramshi,
Yes, sir.
welcome to It's in the Details.
Thank you.
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. You?
Doing great. I'm happy to have you on the show.
Oh, happy to be here, buddy.
There's a lot going on TV and movies.
Yeah.
But first, I hear you have a story you want to tell.
Yeah, so like we've been boys for God knows what, like 20 some odd years.
Mhm.
I don't think you know this, but one of the very first times we went to hang out by ourselves, or we went clubbing, we were at System Soundbar,
Mhm.
and I was like, I guess you had moved your way onto the dance floor, and I was standing against the bar area, just chilling with my, like pose like that, and then I looked over and you just looked like you were having so much fun, and then you did this like kind of dance. It was some reggae dancehall song that was going on. I'm just like, yo, this guy is like enjoying himself. And then I built up enough courage to move on to the dance floor. I had no idea how to dance or anything at that
Seriously.
time. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna try doing what he's doing. And ever since then, I've like slowly picked up my dancing skills from you. So
Yo, that's a
that's
cool.
something I don't think you've ever known or been told.
Had no
If my dance
idea.
moves suck, I credit you, and if they're good, I'll take a little credit of it for myself.
No, listen, man. I had no idea about that,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't call us like the whole crew like amazing dancers, but like we hold our own. Like we've never had problems in clubs that way,
yeah,
and you've always been a good dancer, man. Like I guess you had good teachers.
yeah. Between you and Ricketts, I just learned my way around there. I
That's
guess all of us also were able to bond over music too, right?
well, yeah, definitely. Music, clubs, dancing, all sorts of things.
Yeah,
Wow,
I thought that was an interesting story that you
that
never
is
heard.
an interesting story. Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's cool. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
man.
That's awesome. Well, that this smile won't be leaving my face for the rest of the weekend. So that's pretty good story.
Like
Okay.
soon as the pandemic is over, we can go bust some moves again.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm hearing about roaring 20s all over again.
Yeah,
Um, I think I brought this up to you guys before, but I feel like clubs are really gonna make a comeback as soon
yeah.
as things go back to normal.
Really, that first Friday, things are back to normal. It's like leave the wife and kids and be like, oh, I'm going now.
Yeah, we'll have to find an age appropriate club to be
Yeah.
in. Speaking of which, there's a pizza restaurant downtown
Yeah.
at Adelaide and like Peter or something like that.
Okay.
It's called or whatever. It doesn't matter what it's called, but they have blocked off all of their windows.
Yeah.
And they've put up names of clubs and bars that used to be in downtown Toronto.
Oh, that would be pretty sick to go
Yeah.
check out.
Yes, like I've been planning on taking pictures for you guys to show you, or like a video to show you guys.
Yeah.
But every time I go by, I'm running or I'm driving or whatever, so it's not safe.
Yeah.
But System Soundbar, Limelight, District, like all these, they've painted out all their windows and they've put up the names of those clubs on the bar,
wow.
on the windows. It's crazy.
That'd be something to go see, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
I'll
don't
make
know.
the trek downtown just to go see that.
It's weird, and I don't know why they did it. I haven't bothered to come home and Google it or check it out, but like, it's pretty cool. I have to find out why they did it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see what their reason behind it was. But that'd be a trip down memory lane for all of us.
I tell you this: that you definitely know the owners are, or the manager, whoever it is. They are people our age.
Oh yeah.
Because they know it's all the bars and clubs we went to.
But back in the day, it was like there's nothing like that vibe
No.
that we had back in the day. Like
No.
You don't get that vibe anymore.
Yeah.
Even like we've tried to do a couple of nights out. And I remember one time we were on like College Street or whatever. It's just not the same.
No. Oh no.
It's like it's just completely different in terms of like the music that was being played, the way people were interacting in there. It's just like, what did I walk into?
Yeah, and yeah, it's all very strange now. And that, I mean, our parents would have said something similar about the generation that followed them, right? It's
yeah, for sure.
It's always changing.
Yeah.
So to get into it though, you are another person that moved during the pandemic, right?
I moved
Was it just before?
3-4 months before the pandemic started. Yeah, we moved in December 2019, and then March 2020 was pandemic. Like we were just getting settled into our place.
Right. So because of that, I haven't been to your house to really just chill and watch TV.
Yeah, no.
What's the setup like?
So now, like I guess our main TV is in the living room.
Yeah.
We recently bought like the oversized modular sofa. So you just sit down there and you sink into the couch.
Yep.
And TV is hung on the wall, and it's like a, I think 47-inch or 50-inch, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's where all the TV watching happens.
Aren't you creating a man cave or something like that?
Yeah, the man cave is in the process. Like the pool table is back there. We're gonna hang the TV up here.
Okay.
I gotta get I have internet TV, so I gotta get a box down here too.
Okay.
And then eventually there'll be TV happening in the basement as well.
Okay. So
I figure mostly sports will happen downstairs, and then
downstairs.
all the movie watching and everything, TV shows will be upstairs.
Okay. So are there any specific blankets, pillows, clothing, like pajamas, sweats that like have to happen when it's TV watching time?
I think we're usually in our pajamas.
As
Most
is
of the watching,
everybody?
most of our watching happens once the kids go to sleep.
Yeah.
So once they're asleep, we're already like in our clothes ready for bed, but we'll just veg out on the couch, watch some shows. There is this one blanket that I actually stole from my mother-in-law. It was like one of those nice, soft, type of blankets. I don't
Yeah.
know like what the material is or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just feels so nice, soft, and lightweight. So I always am watching with that covering my legs. And then with the new couch, we're just getting used to like finding our seats and whatever. But usually like feet are across the couch and just like lay back.
Basically laying down, chilling.
Yeah.
There have been no fights for like spots yet on the new couch.
Not yet. Kids are too young, and
Yeah.
the wife
You-
is usually putting the kids to bed, so I get free reign on the couch. So I'm trying to find my spot.
You applaud as she takes the babies upstairs.
I'm like, she's doing a great job. Maybe I'll switch seats over here.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so you haven't spent any money yet on the setup, but you feel good with how it is.
Yeah. I feel like we might try to upgrade the TV size maybe a bit
Okay.
later on.
Okay.
But and the box upstairs I want to update too. But aside from that,
Okay.
the setup is with the couch and everything is pretty set.
Okay. What's the snacking situation like? Are you a snacking house?
I am. I'll usually have chips or popcorn, like dill pickle chips.
Dill pickle. What brand?
Lay's.
Lay's dill
Lay's
pickle.
dill pickle. Otherwise, I'll have like Ruffles barbecue or all dressed.
Okay.
Um,
Ruffles. Wait. Ruffles
think it's
barbecue.
Yeah.
How is it? Like, what's the flavor like? I've never tried them, and I always see them, and I don't buy
I
them.
like it more than the Lay's one. I find the Lay's one is artificial.
Okay, so
Like,
hold
it
on.
doesn't taste legit to me.
The Lay's barbecue, and this is major for me. Okay.
Yeah.
The Lay's barbecue in that black bag. That's
Yeah.
the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
That is a new barbecue they brought in like 15 or 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Back
I
when we
didn't-
were kids,
Yeah.
they had a barbecue that was spicy.
Really?
Yes.
I
And
didn't, I never knew that.
yes, and they still sell it, but now they call it old fashioned barbecue. It's in an orange bag.
Oh.
You can only get it at like Metro
Yeah.
grocery stores and like I think Loblaws. But Lay's old fashioned barbecue, legit. That new, now old black bag with it's got like a picture of like some barbecue sauce on a thing. It's fine. It's like sweet. It's kind of smoky. It's not that good.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the one in the black bag, but I'll definitely try the old fashioned.
Find the orange one. Find the orange bag. Old fashioned barbecue.
I never knew that one. So
You'll love it.
I'm gonna go
Your brown ass with the heat and the spice. It's not spicy enough for you, but it's spicy. You'll like it.
If it's not spicy enough to get me in the bathroom, it's not good enough.
Raheem Duramshi, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's
so
the end of the podcast.
yeah, right. So what's the Ruffles barbecue like? Is it spicy? Is it sweet?
It's not spicy. It just tastes better than the Lay's one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a authentic one.
No.
Tasting barbecue chips, but
Right.
I just find it's more. I find it more tasty compared to the Lay's one.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try those.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. And then
Um,
we'll have the sweet chili heat sometimes.
the Doritos.
Yeah.
Okay.
The those ones are nice, and then popcorn.
Flavor. What flavor?
Just butter,
Butter, salt, popcorn.
butter. Yeah, yeah. And
From
then
any.
sometimes like I'll add like black pepper on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or
Okay,
sometimes
cool.
I'll make a. So my mom used to always make this like a hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like so sometimes here and there I would make it and you just dip the popcorn in it. Give
You
it a
dip
little heat.
like the individual kernels, the popped kernels, you dip it in the sauce and eat it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. So one where you like a handful and you just plunge it, or you going one by one?
No, I'll take one out and like one at a time. Like
Oh
scoop
my.
it like how you would scoop salsa with Doritos
Yeah,
to
yeah,
eat
yeah.
the nachos, right? So
Wow. So 35 minutes for you to eat a bowl of popcorn.
yeah, I mean you got to enjoy the food you're
That's
eating.
incredible.
But
Wow.
that tastes nicer with when you're popping like fresh kernels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
with the bag ones yeah. Like
Okay.
the kernels taste the fresh kernels always bring out the flavor with the hot sauce, I think.
Drinks, sweets, anything like that, or
Um
no?
so I enjoy having like chocolate in my popcorn. Like every time I go to the movie theater, I'll get like
The
M&Ms or
M&Ms?
Maltesers.
Right.
Um the wife hates that, so there's a little
Yeah.
uh
You guys
uh,
could get your own bags.
yeah, we could, but it just doesn't fall that way. She's not much of a popcorn eater. She's more of a like nacho salsa
Gotcha. Gotcha.
in the movie theaters. But yeah, if we were having sweets at home, it'll be like those fuzzy peaches, I think they're
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Um, eat that, or like chocolate bars, like Cadbury hazelnut is one I like.
Hmm.
Um, or like turtles, Ferrero Rochers, like those kind of things.
Have you ever attempted to put any other chocolate in your popcorn, or is it always just the M&M peanuts?
So
Wait, you
one
said
time,
peanuts, right?
yeah, yeah, I like
Yeah.
the M&M peanuts one. She wanted to get that bag of M&M, the regular one, the brown bag.
Mhm.
I put that in, and I wasn't a fan of that. So it's like peanuts all the way or nothing at all.
Yeah, I've never liked regular M&M. M&M peanuts are where it's at. I was never a M&M peanuts in popcorn person. Still, really, I'm not.
Yeah,
But an ex was super into that,
yeah,
and I mean, we did it a few times, and I was like, okay, I could see why someone really likes this,
yeah,
especially if the popcorn's hot
yeah,
and the candy kind of melts a little bit and stuff like that.
yeah.
But it's not really for me. But I have no shade for anyone who's doing it.
Oh man, it's like and especially if you're watching in a dark theater and you're just putting your hand in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bag and then you don't know what you're getting, so it's like a nice little surprise if you
Yes,
get a little
yes,
chocolate with your popcorn.
yes, yes. I get it. I get that.
So
Yeah,
that
that
that that's one of my things I always love doing at the movie theaters. Then.
yeah, that's pretty dope. Um, so when I know you're busy, you've got two little ones, wifey's busy, you're busy.
So,
When you actually have some time to sit down and watch TV,
yeah.
what gets you geeked up to
Um.
watch? Like, what do you? I told you this like a day or so ago. I've been walking around my house humming the theme song to Mandalorian,
Yeah.
and I'm like pumped to watch the show. Is there
Yeah.
anything like that for you?
Um. I guess just if I know what the storyline is or what the show is about and like good acting, um, the soundtrack always gets me into a show as
Yeah,
well. So I think those are the main things that I'm like that will get me like super geeked out about a show.
yeah,
Um, like for example, I'm watching like Formula One, uh, even just like the sounds of the engines revving,
yes,
like that kind
yes.
of stuff, or the
And the theme
excitement.
song.
Yeah, the theme song, the intensity of the show.
Yeah,
Um, like you feel it while you're watching it, right? Like all the drama, what goes on behind the scenes.
mhm.
Um, getting into it, like something like that gets me into it, and I'm like, I can't wait till everyone goes to bed so I can go downstairs and watch another episode.
Yeah. Your Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what shows are you geeked up about right now?
So right now, Drive to Survive, and I'm
Okay.
watching Snowfall pretty religiously. Like every night, I'm watching like 2-3 episodes.
Right.
Fine.
Yeah.
So,
Our friend Ricketts was talking about that in the last episode,
yeah,
talking about Snowfall.
he's the one who got me into it. He got me into a lot of TV shows.
Right. I'm next for Snowfall, I guess. Yeah. So Ricketts got you into Snowfall.
Yeah.
What is it about Snowfall that keeps you coming back every episode?
I think it's, you see the main character's development.
Okay.
Like he starts off as a small time guy that's like selling weed with his uncle, and then he becomes like a really large drug dealer.
Like Kingpin.
Um, yeah, like a kingpin, if you
Yeah.
will. Has all these connections and is starting to make like he's starting to take over the game and starting to be the boss.
Mhm.
So it's just like his progression throughout the show, um, and then dealing with like his homeboys who he's trying to bring along with him, but that sometimes they're making stupid decisions. So he's got to like draw the line between like business and friendships.
Mhm.
Um, so that's something that's like pretty interesting. Just his character progression throughout the
Right.
show.
Right. So you're intrigued by his personal development in that show.
Yeah. So like even in something like Power, I know you guys discussed that as well. Like even how you guys were saying like Tariq's progression throughout the show. Like at first you really hate him,
Mhm.
and then like the show goes on and you go into this new one, Power Book Two or whatever
Yeah.
it's called,
Mhm.
and you see like now he's taking on that type of role. So when you see characters develop like that, that's something that really like gets me into the show.
Does does the main character's progression in Snowfall happen um relatively quickly, like throughout the first season, or you have to get through some seasons to really see it?
I think you start to see it towards the end of the first season.
Hmm.
Um, I think he really starts to flourish end of season two, beginning of season three.
Okay.
Um, but you can see it like progressing with each episode from like season one. And when he decides that he wants to get out of selling weed and move into something more lucrative.
Yeah. It's funny. You told me, well, Top Boy has been on my list
Yeah, yeah,
for a
Top Boy.
while. And I watched the first episode actually last night.
Yeah,
Um, Ashley Waters is I would call him the star.
yeah,
The older guy with the beard
yeah,
from the UK and Jamaica. I know him from another show called Bulletproof.
yeah.
Fantastic, all of the stuff, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. But there's a younger guy in the first episode of Top Boy
Okay.
who you can see he's trying to make moves to climb up the ranks
Oh
drug
yeah,
wise and all
yeah,
of that stuff. And he goes from the beginning of the first episode to like being with his brothers, talking
yeah,
about making well, not talking with his brothers, but talking about making a move. And by the end of the episode, he's made the moves. It's like you've already seen this like huge
yeah,
progression in his character in 40 minutes.
yeah,
So it it's it's astounding how quickly they make that progression happen. It
yeah.
makes you wonder what's going to happen in the rest of the show.
I feel like Top Boy was a little different. 'Cause I guess it's a remake of a older version. Like apparently Drake brought back the Top Boy,
Okay.
the new or the newer one that's on Netflix.
Mhm.
So it's just like a reboot of the older version, which is like a BBC show that I don't know if it's on Netflix or not, but
Okay.
and then it was only one season as well, I think, one or two seasons. So I feel like the progression, like they had to make that progression
Mhm.
to expand on the story. Um, so I think that's why they did it rather quickly
Right.
than like drag it out over each couple of episodes, right?
Gotcha. You haven't seen you haven't seen the original, right?
So we watched it. I just don't remember if it was on Netflix or we just like found it on the internet.
Was that
Um,
good?
it was good, but I like it didn't have like the same type of production value that the Netflix one had.
Okay.
Like that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
was
but
more
yeah.
like you
Yeah.
can't. It's like comparing like a show against like Game of Thrones or something, right? Like
Yeah.
for production value.
Yeah. Netflix has taken all of our 14.99s, all the billions and billions of people with Netflix accounts, and they're like, we're gonna make the best television you've ever seen.
Yeah,
We're gonna spend all your money on giving you stuff you love.
that's why they keep jacking up our prices.
Are you angry about it?
I'm not bothered by it currently.
Right.
Um,
What's the threshold? Is there a number where you're like, Netflix, I'm out?
I think if it like hits in like in the 20s, then
Really?
I would be like, well, we need to reconsider this.
Netflix asks you for another $5 a month, and you're like, I'm out.
I think at that point it's just like At that point we would have to cut a streaming service, I think.
Okay.
I think.
So it might not be Netflix, but somebody's got to go.
Yeah, basically, because it's like, which one are we using the most?
Right.
Like right now we have we have Crave, we have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and then the internet TV.
Right.
Internet TV is like $15 a month, and you get like almost everything plus a video library and all that stuff. So it's like, we're getting all this stuff on our internet TV then.
Yeah. It's strange. It's like, at what point do you have too many? Like, where is the point where you're like, I'm going to miss out on this one show or movie? I don't care. I'm going to keep that $12 in my pocket, right? Like, at some point it's going to happen.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that with Apple TV, like we don't use it. It just came free we bought a iPod like last year or something, and at that time they had a promotion where you get a year free subscription.
Yeah.
But I don't really see much on there that I want to watch.
See, okay, so I don't know that I can agree with you.
Yeah.
But I bought a new phone 6-7 months ago, and it came with that promotion where you get 1 year of Apple TV free, and I've only watched one show.
Which Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso. I've only watched one show, and I think all of the other shows I've seen available on Apple TV look like they're going to be really good, and I just have not pulled the trigger on watching any of them.
Yeah, I don't know why it is. Maybe it's just the way the interface of their app. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, why? Like, I think Apple TV has one show that I do want to watch, which is, I think, the Good Morning Show is called, or something.
Okay, yeah, with Steve Carell.
Yeah, and Jennifer Aniston. And so that one looks pretty good, pretty interesting, at least. But the same thing is like, and I guess the other issue with it is that it's only on our phones or iPod, like because we don't have an Apple TV box, right? So we
PlayStation.
Oh, you can stream it on PlayStation.
Download the app on PlayStation.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that. So,
maybe the interface is better there too.
Yeah, it could be.
Right.
Because I've only known it on my phone. I'm not. I try not to watch shows on my phone.
Of course.
The only time I did was pre-pandemic and when I was commuting.
Right.
Now we're home, and it's like I just prefer to watch it on TV.
Yeah. Try setting it up on your PlayStation, see what it's like.
Yeah.
Also, do you watch Netflix on your PlayStation?
I don't know if I have the app on it, but I do have the Chromecast on the downstairs TV, so I can stream to it. But most of our watching is on the upstairs TV.
Okay.
And that one has like an Android box, which has all the apps.
Well, if you get a chance, check it out, because I exclusively watch Netflix on PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's just, it works better.
Really?
It looks better. It works better. The function. Well, I'm going from watching it on my cable box.
Yeah.
Because there's a channel for Netflix or whatever.
Okay.
But on the PlayStation, it's way better. It's smoother. Everything loads quickly. It's way better.
I'm gonna give that a shot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to set that up today, especially with the Apple TV.
Yes, definitely. But there was another show on Apple TV called Tehran.
Yeah.
I think you told me, but did you watch that too?
I did watch it. I think it was about like a spy that goes back to Iran to like to hack into one of their like nuclear systems, I think it was.
Right.
And then just everything. So the spy that comes into Iran was originally born in Iran, and then I guess she moved and became or started living in Israel, and then just her whole like, I guess, conflict, right? Because then it's like that's her home country, but then now she's loyal to Israel, kind of thing. So there's a lot of like different stories going on in that show, but it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Just seeing that kind of perspective.
And you did kind of recommend it to me too.
Yeah. So but it's not everyone's like
no
cup of tea, I would say.
But you liked it enough to say, hey, watch the show if you get a chance.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I find like in my personal opinion, I found it pretty interesting.
It sticks out. It sticks out in my mind every time I think about Apple TV. I'm like, Raheem told me to watch the show.
Yeah,
Just hit play, and it's that Apple TV thing again. I don't know what it is.
yeah. That's the thing. It's hard to the Apple TV shows. It's just hard to uh, like you have to go out of your way to actually like watch it, right? Like to
Mhm.
remember it because again, it's not like readily accessible unless you
So it
have a
seems.
Apple TV box or something like
Maybe,
that.
yeah. I wonder what the functionality on the box is like.
Yeah,
They give you their little fancy Apple remote control and all of that stuff with like 3 buttons on it.
yeah,
Who knows? So Ted Lasso,
yeah,
you brought that up to me as well.
yeah, yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah.
It's it's marvelous.
That was a great pandemic show to watch. I feel.
Oh man, listen, that show is so overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah,
Like for the people that don't know, an American football coach goes to London to coach a soccer team or a European football team, whatever you're comfortable with, and he knows nothing about soccer. And you could tune in to find out why that happens. But he gets into that spot and just overwhelms everyone with optimism
yeah.
and positivity.
It was like a good feel good
Yes.
quick show, light-hearted, like 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
It was just great. It's like you finish watching one and you're like, all right, whatever's going on in the world isn't as bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, let's do that again. Let's watch another one.
I'm waiting for season 2.
Yes. I had heard or read that they renewed for a second season.
Yeah.
Like 3 days after the first episode came out.
Oh yeah.
Like the reception must have been crazy.
Yeah. It was just funny to see him navigate in a world that's like totally opposite of where he's from, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Man, like you said, like his positivity was infectious.
Yes.
Like everyone.
The thing about that too is like people catch flack for attempting to coach things that they don't really do.
Yeah.
But I've always heard of like there are basketball coaches, there are football coaches, whatever, but then there are ball coaches.
Yeah.
And it's like there are these coaches that say they can coach anything that has a ball in it. They can do anything. And it's like I think you need that level of positivity.
Yeah.
And optimism to share with the team and the staff and the whole organization to get people to do what you want to do.
Oh yeah, it was I mean, kudos to him, or even just that it's fiction, but like kudos to him to be able to pull it off, kind of thing.
Yeah. Right? I'll say the show is predictable.
Yeah.
Like it's not heavy lifting. You know where the story's going.
Exactly.
And you don't care. It doesn't matter because it's just so good and it looks so good.
So I got 2 questions for you in there. So one is, if it wasn't a pandemic, do you think you would feel the same about that show?
Yes.
Okay. And then 2 is,
and I'll tell you why.
Okay. So expand on that first then.
So there's another show that's on NBC.
Okay.
Called Making It.
Okay.
And Making It is it's a game show, a craft game show.
Yeah.
Like these people in the States create amazing arts and crafts type things. They're builders. And the 2 hosts are Amy Poehler and oh my God, Nick Offerman. Okay. So Ron Swanson and oh my God, what was her name from Parks and Rec? I can't remember what Amy Poehler. Did you watch Parks and Rec?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that's like on a list of things I need to watch.
Get to
I haven't gone to it.
There's like 13 seasons, but get to it. It's
when I retire, that's what I'm doing.
It's another one where you're gonna feel good just by watching it. But Making It is this craft show. It's a game show. Those 2 are the hosts, and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
All they want from everybody on the show is to make their best craft and succeed. And all the people competing on the show only want to make their best crafts. They want everybody else on the show to make their best crafts. If you're running behind, I'm ahead. I'm going to stop and I'm going to go help you. And it's like, if you could have Making It and then Ted Lasso come on TV one after another,
Yeah.
you will smile for the rest of the week.
That's like a go to bed happy kind of, right?
Pandemic or no pandemic,
Yeah.
your heart will be warm and filled. It's fantastic. So that's why Ted Lasso I'd watch anytime.
Do you think you could, so like you have a volleyball coaching experience, do you think you could be thrown into that type of situation, and or is it really difficult to go from being a coach in one sport and then going to a completely different sport and trying to coach that team?
I have never thought of myself as a ball coach.
Okay.
But when I started coaching volleyball, I didn't really know much about volleyball at all. Like I was kind of around it from like an arm's length, and I needed to do a lot of work to be able to be useful to the team and the kids. So I guess technically I could have done it because I didn't know what I needed to know when I started, and I was relatively successful coaching volleyball for like 10 years. So I figured it out, but it was a hard grind. But it's spooky, man. It's spooky just like stepping into something like that. And I was a volunteer. I wasn't getting paid whatever he's getting paid on the show. But I'd like to think I could do it. I'd like
you might have like a 1 or 2 rough years, but you think you could get it.
Oh, going, dude, right? My first 2, 3, 4 years of coaching, I feel like I was a detriment to these children more than an aid.
Is that why you never let us come to any games?
No. I mean, I'm not. Who am I to convince friends to come watch me coach other people's 14, 15, 16-year-old children? At 9 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours away on a Saturday, 2 hours away from where you live. Like,
that is true.
But listen, the teams I coached at the end, by then I was much more seasoned. I was very useful to them. As a coach, as a mentor, like I feel like I was pretty useful to them by then. And those teams, in hindsight, those teams, you guys, I should have invited people to come watch, because we had some high level girls on those teams. Went on to play. One's playing overseas now. One professionally. A few went to the States on scholarship. Like,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, some good stuff. But I don't know. I never really considered myself a ball coach. Like when I think about coaching basketball, I watch a lot of basketball. If you told me I needed to go coach a basketball team, I'd run the other direction. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start, man.
You don't think it would be like an X's and O's type thing? And like, given that you watch so much basketball, like you would have a fairly good idea of what needs to be done.
I've been watching a bunch of the women's NCAA tournament. Okay. And I've never been so certain about how little I know about basketball. Watching these 17-year-old fresh women, whatever you want to call them, watching these 17-year-olds dominate at basketball. And I wouldn't, like, there's a timeout, you're drawing up a play, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like I would turn to one of them and say, hey, listen, what play should we run right now? I have no clue.
You know what I love about watching basketball is like all the off the screen action that happens.
Right.
So like you see like picks at the backside to free up a guy for a backdoor cut, or like something like that. Like anything off the ball is what I enjoy looking. Or even, I guess, not today's basketball, but maybe in the late 90s, early 2000s, when it was a bit more physical, like the battles you would see in the post and everything. Like those things were always something I enjoyed like looking out for.
Is your eye immediately drawn to the off the ball stuff? Or
I think it was initially, it was, and it still is. But I also get like when you see Steph Curry playing and like
Yeah,
lighting up threes, like that stuff is exciting. Like just
yeah.
to see someone being able to do that. Um, and then even just like watching the Jordan documentary,
Hmm.
like just seeing like the physicality that went on. Like every time he was going into the paint, he was getting clobbered, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So so I guess I grew up in the late Jordan era, and then it slowly transitioned to the three, like shooting threes and stuff. But I still always have a like I'll always look out for the physicality of it
Right.
more so than the shooting bit.
Right. For me, I find either I'm paying more attention to the commentary
Yeah,
or they're getting better at it.
yeah,
But what they've been doing, or I've been noticing, is they've been good at describing the plays that you've just seen happen.
yeah, yeah,
So then I'll rewind right away,
yeah.
see all that off the ball stuff that you're talking about,
Mm,
and that's kind of forming like play development and stuff like that in my
yeah,
head, and making basketball much more enjoyable.
yeah,
That's the kind of stuff that leads me into thinking, oh yeah, you're a ball coach.
yeah.
Like if you had to figure it out, you could go figure it out.
Well, you could see like so even if you relate that back to Ted Lasso, like I think towards the end of this season, uh, their water boy gives them a play and
Yeah.
he acts on it and it's like using someone as a distraction,
Hmm.
which is could somewhat be similar
Of
to like
course.
a off the ball thing
Yeah.
and how it works in a real game situation, which was like phenomenal to see, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Definitely. Those things, like when those things happened when I was coaching,
yeah,
where it's like you tell one of your athletes, this is what's going to happen. This is what you do. And you're going to score. We're going to win, whatever it is. And it works like
yeah.
just the way you said it was. And they turn and look at you like, what are you, psychic? It's
That's
like,
when you're like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. I may have done a couple of those in my in my career. But yeah, it's dope. And yeah, I guess there are more ball coaches than you know of.
yeah. If
Yeah.
you, I, it's really amazing that I don't think there's a real world example of a coach that's gone from like one sport to another,
Well,
or not that I'm aware of at
you,
least. But I
that's
think it would be interesting to, if there is one, or if you know someone like to
that's the
read up on.
thing. Ted Lasso is loosely based on that.
And so it's based loosely based on a true story.
Yes.
Oh,
So some American football coach
really?
like bought up a European football team
Yeah.
that was like they were struggling for money and there was all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then so he was actually the owner
Okay.
and the coach quit and then he installed himself as the coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Gonna Google that stuff.
Yeah, I think his name was like Terry Smith or something like that. So
Gotcha.
that's kind of where the story comes from. I don't know if he's like Jason Sudeikis's character and he's like super positive and all of that stuff, but it
Yeah.
comes from real life.
Oh.
And the term, like the idea of a ball coach, came to me because of Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier is a college football coach,
Okay.
and I think he may have coached 1 or 2 years in the NFL,
Yeah.
and he refers to himself as a ball coach, or people refer to him as a ball coach. So it's like he's a
Yeah.
football coach, but if he walked into a gym and someone rolled out a basketball and they were like, "We got to get the game going," he would step in and he'd run the practice.
Mm,
So yeah, that's kind of where all that comes from.
that's interesting.
Yeah. You brought up F1 and Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like I got into F1 heavy because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I have no idea how you got into it.
Yeah. That's so I guess like growing up, I spent a lot of my I guess high school summers in England with my cousins,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, so they were always into it. So every time it was a race day, like it was on all the TVs in the house, like no matter what floor or room you're in, it's on.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got into it then. Um, and then like when I would fly back to Toronto, then I would just kind of forget about it because I don't even think we had that much coverage of it initially,
Initially.
or that I was aware of because I just it just never occurred to me to try to find
Mm-hmm.
it. And then I want to say maybe like 3, 4 years, maybe even possibly 5 years. I just started watching it on TV and just kind of got hooked on it. Um, like I've been, I think Kimi Räikkönen was one of the first drivers I was like really into.
You liked Kimmy back when Kimmy was good?
Yeah. Like back in the day, Kimi Räikkönen, and then like even just to watch um, Lewis Hamilton come into the sport and just be as an elite of a driver as he is
Yeah.
just like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm like the Red Bull team. Um, I'm trying to remember who their driver was that I like was
Back
into.
then? Was it Sebastian Vettel?
Was there anyone else there? Any other big?
I don't
It
know
might have
enough of
been
the
Vettel, but
history.
yeah,
I think I'm not gonna guess.
yeah. But it's also, you know, what I like the Red Bull, their whole logo design and
It's
everything. That
beautiful.
also like and the Aston Martin sign and everything there is just
Yeah.
something that's always like had me drawn to them.
Have they changed their car, like their livery? Has it
I
been
don't think
this
so.
thing?
Not
It's
n- not that they might have made like minor changes to it or whatever, but like in terms of color scheme and everything, and like
same.
uh yeah, as far as I can remember, it's the
Mhm.
same. Um, but even like watching them and seeing all the behind the scenes action that's going on like through the show is just like it's just like heart pounding. Like I was telling you the other day,
Yeah.
I watched like the first 2 episodes on like that's a show I am just like, yo, I need to watch the next one. And
So good.
but then the problem with something like that is like you watch the season and then you're stuck waiting for
It's
like
over. Yeah.
but
And they're doing it with the racing seasons, right? So
yeah,
then you got to wait to the end of this racing season to see what happened.
oh yeah,
So
like
I
what, yeah, go ahead.
I have decided I watched the first, I think, 3 episodes.
Yeah,
I've decided I'm only watching Drive to Survive when there are no races happening on a
yeah.
weekend, so I can kind of spread it out.
Yeah,
Inevitably, that's going to fail, and I'm just going to binge it one day.
yeah.
But I'm going to try my hardest.
Oh man, it's just one of those great sports docu series, I guess you would say. Um, I don't think I've seen something that's as intense as that.
Yeah,
Like in terms of docu series, like being related to sports. Like I can imagine watching a basketball or a soccer docu series that's like that intense and everything.
yeah,
Um, even just the like driver battles and the commentary between the drivers, and it's just something to watch.
yeah.
And like if you're not a F1 fan, it might get you into Formula One racing.
I don't know how it couldn't.
Mm,
Um, so the strange thing about F1 to me is you've got this massive sport,
yeah,
billions of dollars in revenue,
yeah,
I would imagine, and you've only got 10 teams. Okay, you've got 10 or so rich guys
yeah,
that own teams. I'm sure there's some teams of investors and whatnot, but you've got 10 guys. They've hired 2 drivers,
yeah,
essentially, they're backup drivers and whatnot. But you've got this massive thing surrounding 20 people,
yeah.
right?
It,
And
it,
go ahead.
oh no, I was just saying, it's like pretty incredible how it's all built around these teams and just these like two drivers per teams, right?
20 guys,
Yeah,
20 guys. And only like 5 of them have a chance at winning races, really. Like there could be accidents and whatnot, but like,
yeah. But you know, no one's beating Lewis Hamilton anytime soon.
I don't
Well,
know.
no, the Red Bull guy is coming along.
Yes. Yes. This season's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
And the first race of the season was spectacular. I can't believe you missed it. I
yeah,
can barely look at you right now. Um, but yeah, it's like, take Lando Norris for a second, right?
yeah, yeah.
This guy Lando is I think he's,
McLaren dude, right?
yeah,
Is
McLaren.
there, yeah,
I think he's 21 or something
yeah,
like that. And in the season of Drive to Survive that's out now, you see him um you see him being coached consistently. So I imagine he was maybe 20 during that season.
yeah,
You see him coached consistently on what he's going to say to the media when they ask him
Oh, yeah,
questions.
yeah,
And you're like, you guys have spent however hundreds of millions of dollars on the car and this season, and you've got this 20-year-old who can't stop like just being silly because he's 20 and
yeah,
he should be silly,
yeah,
but you've got all this money tied up into him and his ability to drive fast and not say anything too stupid.
yeah. He just needs to be everywhere. Anytime anyone asks him a question, just no comment.
Yeah, that guy
Like,
has to follow what
literally.
he does.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think they showed. I think it was him where they showed. I think it was probably the first episode where they're asking him about um if they should be canceling the season of
Mhm.
because that's when I guess
Right.
COVID started,
Yeah.
and they were training him to give a correct response, and I
Yeah.
feel like he went completely off of what he was told.
When he was asked, he said what he said because he's
Yeah,
20.
yeah, exactly.
This is how I feel.
Like it's like in one ear out the other. So no,
Yeah.
I'll just say whatever I want.
Yeah.
But even if you watch the other Red Bull driver, his story, Alex
Alex
something.
Albon.
Yeah, 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 like I like his storyline,
Mhm.
and I hope to see more of it. And like this guy seems like he's a crazy driver. So
Don't hold your breath, man. He's gone.
is he?
Yeah, they booted him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They
But
booted
he was
him.
in the first two episodes at least.
Yes, because that's
Season
last season
last
stuff.
season. Yeah,
So he finished out the season last year,
yeah.
but at the end of the season, he was. I mean, throughout the season, he wasn't driving that well. And
Oh,
then
that's a shame.
Sergio Perez,
Yeah, yeah,
he was racing for Racing Points,
yeah.
and his contract was up, and they weren't going to re-sign him. So he won the last race of the year.
The Racing
And
Points is the Stroll one.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So he won the last race of the year, but then he didn't have a contract, so he was going to be out of F1.
Oh,
And then Red Bull decided to get rid of Alex,
yeah.
and they hired Sergio.
It's crazy. Like you could just be out of a job, just
Yeah,
like that.
because there's 20 spots,
Yeah, that's it.
and some team decides to hire two rookies,
Yeah,
and another team decides to hire a rookie, and all the spots are filled. You're
yeah,
out of a job, and
yeah,
you just won the last race of the year.
yeah.
So
It's crazy odds just to get in there, man.
exactly, that's the thing too. It's like I did a piece the last episode on F1, and I was talking about Lance Stroll, and
Yeah,
it's like he clearly, to me, got this job because his dad bought the team,
yeah, yeah,
but he gets in the car and drives his ass off.
yeah.
So then it's like, how many dudes on earth
Mm,
are capable of driving F1 cars
yeah.
like really well and just never get the opportunity?
I mean, I think I'm capable of doing it, but I just never had the opportunity.
I've driven
You
with
see
you.
me driving down the DVP, I could do it.
You're a fine driver. You're not a bad driver. You're not a great driver. You're a fine driver. Like, I think I'm a decent driver,
Yeah,
but I don't think I could drive an F1 car.
I think I would love to be a passenger in the car. I don't think I could drive it fully, but
Yeah, if you could hook up like a two-seater
yeah,
F1,
yeah,
only let it go like 200 miles or kilometers an hour, not quite 300. I don't need that in my life,
yeah,
but it's great. It's so
yeah, man.
good. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. It would
Uh,
be crazy to see it live. And I've been
yes,
like on you. I'm like, oh, we need to go to Montreal to at least catch one.
there are 2 or 3 other friends that have also said they want to go to Montreal for F1.
There you go, man.
That's going to have to be a post-vaccine
Yeah,
Montreal F1 trip.
yeah. We're all gonna be there with our like walkers and stuff. Just
Not that post. I don't think it's going to take that long.
well, depending on Ford, you never know.
We'll see. We'll see. Slight pivot. Do you watch anything that you might consider to be obscure to other people? Something that's not so mainstream that you really enjoy and you don't think anybody else is watching it?
So right now I'm watching one called Into the Shadows. It's about a wealthy couple whose daughter gets kidnapped from a party, and
Mm-hmm.
then they get contacted and by the kidnapper asking them to commit a certain crime in order for them to get their daughter back. Um, so I don't think that's the show that's on many people's radar, or at least not from the circle of friends that I have.
Yeah.
Um, and it's kind of cool. It's got a pretty big Bollywood actor in it. Um, it's a all English show, um, but that's pretty. It's a pretty dark series that I've been watching.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting.
How did you find it?
I was just
Just
one with Amazon Prime. So we have a Prime membership, and you
yeah.
get the video stuff included in it. So I was just searching.
You were just searching one day, just scrolling through.
Yeah, literally, and I'm like, oh, this guy. Like the movies that I've seen him in, I've kind of enjoyed it. So I'm like, oh, let me see him do it in a TV show. And
so he was on the poster, and you're like, I want to see what this guy's doing. Who
yeah,
is it?
it was like his
Do you remember?
Abhishek Buckshin or something like that.
Oh, I love him.
Probably want to go have some.
I don't know who he is. I've never seen him in anything.
So he's the son of a really big Bollywood actor.
Okay.
So, and he himself is pretty big, at least from my limited Bollywood knowledge.
Sure.
And so it's been interesting to see him like kind of pull a Priyanka Chopra, where like you come out of one world and like you're going into like English television.
Right. So not a Bollywood show at all.
No.
Just a prominent Bollywood actor.
Yeah. There's no like running around trees and singing in the rain or nothing like that in the show.
Is it is like hour-long episodes type deal?
Yeah, I would say like maybe like 40-ish minutes.
Yeah.
40 minutes to an hour.
And you finished it?
I think I have like 2 more episodes left.
2 more. Okay.
Yeah. So that's one. Then there was another one, Delhi Crime.
Okay.
It was called on Netflix. So that was about I think that was a true story that was based about a gang rape of a female that happened off a bus. Yeah, pretty dark. That's why I
So you and your wife have made these 2 beautiful little boys, right? Full of positivity and optimism and all sorts of beautiful things that could be brought into this world and their lives. And you're like, I need to watch some TV shows to balance this shit out.
It's the yin to the yang. Right?
I need some kidnappings. I need some coercion, some gang rapes. You're like,
I think I feel like I'm into like those darker television shows.
Wow. No shade. So when you're sitting like you're going
you're trying to wrap your head around
my mind is exploding right now. So you're getting ready to finally watch some TV on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? You did the work, took care of the wife, helped with the kids, you did all the things, and you're like, what makes you go, I want to watch that show right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's just like to be lost in the storyline.
Okay.
Like you just get so lost. And it could be with any of the other TV shows that I've watched, like a Ted Lasso or something.
Sure.
Just to get like lost in the storyline, and you're just focused on that, and like anything in your current real world is just like blocked out.
It's gone.
Just focus on that. But I would also say like I'm a very moody TV watcher, I guess. I may watch an episode on a Monday and I may not go back to it for like 2 months.
Yeah. So you know why? Because you're sad. You're sad.
It's coming into a depression, and then I'll come back to it later on.
Yeah. And listen, like, I mean, we watch all sorts of stuff. I watch all sorts of crime dramas, drug dramas, all sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
It's intriguing to me what makes you sit down and watch that stuff, right? Like, it's easy to get into a Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
lose yourself over 4 episodes, so 2 hours are gone, and you just feel great after watching it, or even while you're watching it. And then on another day, you could just be like, I want to watch the show where this family needs to rescue their child who's been kidnapped.
So on the flip side, just learning, I guess, well, especially like with the Delhi crime, which was based on a true story, like just seeing what actually happened there, right? Like, um, it's on the other side of the world, so like our media coverage isn't always like reporting on it. So just to not necessarily gain insight, but just be better educated about like such issues that are going on. So it's just like interesting to get lost in that show and be like, it makes you appreciate that you live in a country where like stuff like that doesn't happen, or not as blatantly.
It's less likely to happen.
So it's just like an eye opener, right?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those like shows that are based on real stories, whether it be like crime or whatever the case may be. Like even there was one episode about like how FBI agents create a profile. So I think it was for the Unabomber show, or docu series, where they profile what they think this guy who did this bombing is. So just seeing the like analytical stuff that goes on behind how are you determining like what type of person would commit such a crime. So like that kind of stuff is interesting to me. Just seeing it, because like when else are you going to know like how a FBI agent will like determine what type of a person that is committing such type of crime.
I think the thing that helps make those types of shows interesting for me in my mind is like the logic and the procedural nature of how it goes. Like it's like we need to complete this step, and then we gotta follow up on this lead, and we ask these questions, and we do these things, and it kind of almost takes it out of the horrendous things that are happening and they're describing. And it kind of just, or my brain at least, can take it into the process. And you're just like, wow, the way that they get these things done is fascinating.
So those are always like intriguing to me. Even if you like read a story and then there's a docu series about it, is like something I would probably lean towards watching right off the bat, like when it releases.
Are there any television shows, movies that are on TV and on your TV, and you can't walk by without spending 3, 4, 5 minutes on it?
There's a bunch of them, and also it depends on the season too. Like I have a whole list of Christmas movies I'll watch, and then
really, what are your like top 2, 3 Christmas movies?
It's got to be Home Alone, the first one.
Okay, classic.
A Money Train.
Hold on. I said Christmas movies. Is Money Train a Christmas movie?
It takes place around the holidays.
Hold on. So Money Train Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
I talked about that last week.
And J-Lo.
Oh yeah, J-Lo's in it
a
too.
Young J-Lo. Yeah.
That's right.
You know, because it happens over the holiday season, like Christmas and New Year's. So that's why it gets lumped in with my Christmas movies.
Fine. Go on.
And then I think those are the major ones. I'll probably Die Hard.
Your major Christmas movies.
There's a good balance. Die Hard and Home Alone.
It's clear to us you are always seeking balance. Ted Lasso, Murder Rape, Home Alone, Money Train. So your top 3 Christmas movies are Home Alone, Money Train, and what was that last one again?
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Okay.
And Office Christmas Party. I like that one.
Oh, Jason Bateman's in there. I saw that. That's a wild ride.
Those I would say are my, like, I have to watch those every Christmas.
Wow. Is it just like as soon as December hits? Is it Christmas Eve? Is it
Um,
Boxing Day?
no, it's got to like once December hits.
Once
I
December
was,
hits, you can
yeah,
start rolling through Christmas movies.
yeah, yeah.
Is there like a really long list of Christmas
Um,
movies that you watch? Like,
I
do you
think
watch one a day?
I watch one like I try to watch one every weekend, and then like on the holidays, like load up on them. Or that's just me. It just gives like you don't always have a white Christmas or anything,
Oh
so
yeah, sure.
that just makes me gets me in the spirit, I guess.
What about Elf?
Never watched that.
Sound of Music, which is somehow a Christmas movie, but I don't think there's anything Christmassy in it.
No, I've never never seen that either. So maybe that's why my list is so obscure because this is just movies that I've seen around the Christmas time, not
Right.
necessarily that take place at Christmas.
Back in 1995, Raheem saw a movie around Christmas time.
Yeah,
It was snowing. His family was around. Everything
like
was great. And
Terminator is my top Christmas
yeah,
movie.
and now it's a Christmas movie. That's
But
spectacular.
in terms of like TV, like shows or movies that would keep coming on, I would watch. I think the Bourne series.
Yes.
Um,
All of
Fast.
them?
Yeah, I
Even
think.
Jeremy Renner's Born?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't mind him as taking over for that
Okay.
character. Like in terms of TV shows, it would be Friends, Seinfeld, like Fresh Prince. Um, those are the main shows, and then movies would be like Fast and Furious, um, Above the Rim, like
Wait. Fast and Furious, any of them?
any
Any
of them
Fast?
except the Tokyo Drift one.
What do you? I don't think I've seen that. I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen maybe two or three.
Yeah,
Like it's never really been my thing.
yeah.
Um, but I don't believe I've seen Tokyo Drift. Why do you dislike Tokyo Drift?
It's like Bow Wow went to Mary J. Blige's School of Acting. No.
Now that's a callback for the people. Wow.
If people are paying attention, they'll get the
Yeah.
reference.
See that last episode if you want to know what that reference is about. So Bow Wow was so bad in it that you're like, this movie is not for me.
No, I just didn't. I don't think. I mean, not to say in the rest of the Fast and Furious series the acting is spectacular or anything. It's just
Right.
I just didn't.
Just
It was
wasn't.
just something that just rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay.
And
So
like even the original Fast and Furious is like I think it got better when they started adding like Ludacris, um, Vin, was it The Rock? Like
yeah.
his personality on screen is like it draws you in.
No shade to Ludacris. Okay.
Yeah,
He's done very well for himself. He seems like a very nice guy. I
yeah.
don't know that anyone has ever said about any movie or TV show that it got better once they added Ludacris.
Yeah,
But
he's got a
that's how you
little.
feel. That's fair.
It's like him and Tyrese. They're their on-screen chemistry. Even like their acting might not be the best, but their chemistry like
Yeah.
it comes out when they're doing acting.
It's entertaining.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's fun to watch.
yeah, and their
And-
little sarcastic humor and all that
Yes.
stuff. Like they bounce back and forth off of each other pretty
Yeah.
well.
It's a well constructed vehicle, excuse the pun, a well constructed vehicle for them to do what they do.
Yeah. Like it doesn't seem like they're going like trying to be someone that they're not. Like it
Right.
just seems like they're genuine in their on-screen roles.
Right. Wow. Fast and the Furious. Seinfeld, Friends.
Yeah. So Seinfeld I was never really into, and
Mhm.
I started getting into when I met Zala, and then I started watching it. I'm like, all right. Like I think back then I wouldn't have appreciated the humor in it,
Right.
whereas now it's like I find it pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Have you watched it from beginning to end, or do you just see it whenever it's on?
I just see it whenever it's on.
Okay. So you haven't seen all of the episodes.
Yeah. I think those are the main things. Like movies, there's a White Man Can't Jump. Like if that's
Anytime
on, I'll
that's
always
on, you'll watch it. Yeah.
Like Money Train, although it is one of my Christmas movies, if that's on in July, I'm watching it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I want to say that's pretty much it. Like
Yeah.
if Game of Thrones is on, they show reruns of Power, Shy, like those things I'll watch.
Yeah. Anytime.
Yeah.
That's dope.
What about you? Is there like your go-tos?
Um, oh, Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw,
Yeah.
and I've talked about this before, has been on Crave a lot.
Okay.
So anytime it's on and I'm not actually watching something, I
Yeah.
will turn to that channel and just let it be on because
Yeah.
it's so funny. The action's fantastic in it. Like it's just very
Yeah.
it's entertaining. Like it's not the best movie that's ever been created, but I have no reason to not watch it. Same with you, the Bourne movies. There was actually an episode of Seinfeld on, I think last night or something, when Elaine buys an armoire that she can't
Okay.
get up to her apartment because of moving days and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that was pretty funny. And that's also the Soup Nazi episode,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which I've never seen from beginning to end. But
Okay.
watching Elaine act like a fool in the Soup Nazis restaurant is just fantastic. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek.
That's one I want to get into.
Schitt's Creek is Ted Lasso is making it. It's like do you feel like feeling good about yourself and the state of the world
Yeah.
right now? Then watch Schitt's
Watch
Creek.
that. Yeah.
It's impossible, and it's like it's not like these shows go without a villain or some drama or some what's the word I'm looking for? Intrigue, strife. Like it's not like there aren't problems that these people have,
Yeah.
but you're going to feel better about everything watching the show. Like it'll give you hope for the world, being more accepting, being more caring, being more kind.
Yeah.
Like it's so good, and it's funny.
Yeah.
It's smart. The acting is legit. Like the acting's really good. Schitt's Creek is amazing, and that's why it's won so many awards.
I gotta give that one a watch.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's a cartoon one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you sound like you haven't seen it yet.
No, I have not. I started it, but then I probably just got distracted with the kids, and then just never ended up going back to it.
The next time you have some free time,
Yeah.
you got TV time, you got 2 hours.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It will not disappoint.
Really?
It's true. Like I'd heard it was good. Picked myself up, walked to a theater and watched it in the theater. It was in 3D.
Yeah.
The 3D is spectacular. The 3D is that new 3D where they create depth as opposed to things shooting at you through the screen.
Yeah.
Like they've created a 3D background kind of thing. So it's almost like you could go into the screen, right?
That's pretty cool.
That's not going to help you at home.
Yeah.
But that's the experience I had in the theater. But then also the story is amazing.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is black. In 2000, in 2000, right. Everybody's been waiting for a black Spider-Man, I guess. In I think it was 2019 that movie came out. Like for them to understand what's going on in the world, and create a young black Spider-Man for young black kids, and he's not just. I think he's mixed black and Puerto Rican. I'm not sure. Don't get mad at me if I'm wrong, but he's mixed, but he presents black. Yeah. And for them to do that at that time and give a bunch of little kids something to aspire to, was such great taste. But the storyline is great. The drama's great. The comedy's great. It looks amazing. I mean, you'll call me and say, why didn't you tell me to watch this movie when you watched this movie?
Yeah.
Because it's good, man. It's so good.
I'll definitely put that on my list.
Yeah. What do you watch when it's husband-wife time?
That's a good question. I think the last show we actually watched together, it had to have been Breaking Bad.
Oh,
I
okay.
feel like. I'm trying to think if there's. I will watch like Billions right now, here and there.
Right.
Um, when Khaled's in daycare, like if it's on, like I'll sit down with my laptop and watch it there with her. Um, but yeah, the last one we actually like watched together in its entirety was Breaking Bad.
Was that recently?
I think, well, it was probably like 2018. It was definitely before we had children.
So, do you guys now? You guys don't watch TV together at all?
No, very rarely. I think
Is
it's just like timing, right?
Sure.
Like she's
Various work
put it.
schedules,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and then kids.
yeah. So I feel like that was the last one we actually watched together.
So, what does she watch?
So right now, so she just rewatched Sopranos.
Okay.
Um, and she just finished that off like a couple of weeks ago or last month. She's
Have you seen Sopranos?
I have not watched it in its entirety.
Okay.
Um, that's one of the ones I want to get into, but then I started watching it and I was like, if I find it too slow or it doesn't grab me
You're out.
in,
Yeah,
then
you're out.
I find it hard to like go further into the show, like to commit that much time,
Mhm.
especially with Sopranos. I think there's what, like maybe 6, 7
Yeah,
seasons, possibly
and
more.
they're like an hour each
Yeah, so
episode.
it's like then it's like I just weigh out the like,
Yeah.
do I want to put all this time into it, right?
Yeah.
Um, I want to say what else? What else did she watch? She watched The Crown,
Okay.
so she just watched that about
And
the whole monarchy and all that stuff. So she's into that. Um, she let me watch Indian Matchmaker on my own, so I don't have
oh,
her to blame for that one.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Describe this sentence to me. She let me watch Indian matchmaking on my
well,
own.
well, she chose not to watch that show with me.
So you wanted to watch the show, and she said you watch it by yourself.
Yeah, she probably watched it. She probably saw it on TV, and she was just like, "Nah, that ain't for me." She's like, "You do you."
Okay, so you've watched Indian matchmaking by yourself,
Yeah,
and you loved it, you hated it, you thought this is a great idea. Why didn't I do this? What did you think?
it was like Jersey Shore meets The Bachelor is the
Wow.
way I would describe. But that's just for me. Like, I mean, there's not the drama and all that, the partying that goes on in Jersey
Sure.
Shore, but is just I like you don't think these arranged marriages still happen in this day and time, or not even arranged marriages, just like asking a matchmaker to have you uh, meet your significant other.
Really?
So I think that's what was the intrigue, and then like it exposes a lot of discrimination that happens, I guess, in Indian culture. I would
Mm-hmm.
say, um, and stuff that I was even like blind to. I would like for me like growing up, we were always very like open and there's no issues with us.
Yeah.
Um so in this one it exposes like when they're going to the matchmaker and they're like looking for a partner, they're like obviously like you want someone to have a good job, but then they're like they have to be like light skin or like you just see like their whole list of things that they want in a partner, and then like I think social media was getting mad when the matchmakers like, well, you need to come down and like compromise a bit on what you want and what you need. So there's like drama surrounding that whole issue. Um, but it was just like interesting to watch.
Mm.
I guess there was a drama on it, right? Like
Of course.
people want to find their significant other, but then they're not able to, or then they have issues with the person that they meet. Um, but yeah, it was just pandemic watching.
Mm. It, so you have people going to matchmakers
Yeah,
who want other people of their same race, culture,
yeah, 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 yeah,
religion, and actively discriminating, on people within their own culture and
Yeah,
race based on um the pigmentation of their skin.
yeah. Which it makes you think like, well, if this happens in this culture, like, I wonder if it happens in any other culture, right? Like,
100%.
so it is just it exposes it.
Yeah.
It doesn't put it in a good light, I would say, like, or the Indian community, I would say, or not to
Well, not
generalize
the
everyone.
whole, yeah, not the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, just
community.
like it just shows that this stuff just still happens to this day and age.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting watch. Like,
Yeah.
I'd tune in for season two. It's just something that's playing on the TV while you're doing stuff. Like,
Right.
um,
It's an ambient TV experience.
yeah, and then a little bit of jaw dropping as you're walking by. Like, she said, "What?"
Wow. So finally, give the people some recommendations. Either if you've got recommendations for me specifically, you've
Yeah.
got recommendations for the people at large. What do you got? 2, 3, 4, however many you got.
So right off the bat would be Snowfall. Uh,
Snowfall again.
that's
Okay.
that's
Snowfall's
one.
hot.
Yeah, that one's just, yeah. Think that's something you just need to watch.
Okay.
Like, you get hooked pretty quickly, and they're like hour-long episodes, but they go by pretty quick.
Okay.
Um, Peaky Blinders is another one that I
Mm-hmm.
love. Um,
I started Peaky Blinders one day when I
yeah,
was working,
yeah,
and then I realized I have to watch this show. Like
yeah.
you know those shows where you're like,
You
I
need to pay
need
attention.
all of my attention. This show deserves all of my attention.
Yeah,
No
the
phone.
acting in that show is incredible.
Killian Murphy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have Tom Hardy makes appearances in there,
Oh,
and his character is like pure jokes in the show.
okay.
Um, there's another one, Taboo, and
Taboo.
that's a Tom Hardy show. Um, I think it was like after some British war, like in 1800s or something like that.
Okay.
So he comes back to take over his father's like a shipping company. Like, his father passed away, and he comes back to rebuild it. Um, and it's just like all these people that don't want him to have that company going again.
Okay.
So he's like dealing with the British government and like people trying to go after him to prevent him from doing it. Uh, there's only one season so far. But I think because he took a break to film movies and all that stuff. But that one was a pretty exciting show to watch.
Okay.
Like, we're waiting for like the next season to come out.
How many episodes? Do you remember how many episodes the first season was?
I don't think it was like I would say between 8 and 10.
Yeah.
It was like
that's
one.
what I thought.
I find the British shows are a bit. They have shorter seasons, I
Yeah.
find.
And they're usually in and out, man. You'll get one season, maybe 2 seasons,
Yeah,
and then move on to the next amazing story they're going to tell.
yeah. So those ones are for sure. Ozark, which is a favorite as well.
It's
Um,
phenomenal.
I can't think of anything that's like out of left field kind of thing.
That's
But
fine.
those ones are the ones I would suggest.
I've never heard of Taboo. I don't even know where to look for Taboo.
Yeah,
Like, I'll try the streaming services, but I don't know.
I think it was like a FX show.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I don't know if anything streams those shows, but um, it's worth it. Like, if you can find it online or
Yeah.
something, even just watch a trailer. Um, but again, I feel like it's like the actors that are in the show that make it what it is. Like,
In Taboo.
yeah, like even with Peaky Blinders, right? Like,
Yeah.
they just got a great cast. Like, I never really Zala got me into Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
and then I started watching his stuff, and I'm like, yo, this dude's like legit.
Do you find that you're almost more a fan of the actors and actresses in the show than what the show's giving you, like scenes, dialogue, things like that?
I think is depending on who's in the show, that would get me intrigued to watch it, and
Mm,
then it's up to the like writing and the like production and all that to keep me coming back for more.
okay.
Like Power, for example, that's one of like my favorite shows right now. Um, I had no idea who any of these
Yeah.
characters were
You
or
didn't know
these
anybody.
actors, um, but like Tommy is like a phenomenal actor.
Hmm.
Like, and I wouldn't have known about him or I wouldn't have stuck to the show if the writing for that show wasn't so phenomenal.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I like the actors or the names of the people will get me to watch it, but then it's the story that would keep me hooked.
Yeah. Other than Snowfall, like, so if it's a recommendation from a friend,
Yeah,
that can get you into the show without any stars.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if it's not a recommendation, the
yeah,
stars could drive you to the show,
yeah,
but they still have to have some quality to back it up.
yeah. But I mean, so far, like Ricketts has suggested a few shows to me, and like he's been spot on with his shows.
Have you watched Naruto yet?
Not yet. That getting into anime is a little, I don't know. Is I feel like it would require time. Like I don't want to just put it on and not be able to like watch it religiously, kind of thing.
Right,
Like I feel like it's one of those things that you need to watch it.
You got to stay in it.
Yeah,
You can't just bounce out for 2-3 weeks and then come back.
yeah,
So, Snowfall, Peaky
yeah,
Blinders,
yeah,
Taboo,
yeah. Ozark.
Ozark.
Ozark is for sure.
Ozark.
There's one actress in there.
In Ozark?
Yeah, the curly blonde hair.
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
Forget her name.
Julie Garner.
I find her acting is awesome. Like,
Have
she
you seen
killed
her
it in
do anything
role.
else?
I want to say I think I saw her in something, but I'm not 100%.
Go find that woman acting in other things. Okay.
Yeah.
If you think she's good in Ozark now,
Yeah,
wait till you see her do other things.
yeah,
Because your mind will explode
yeah,
after you get to see her do other stuff, because
Yeah.
she is a true actress. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing I've ever seen about her as a person, like the people that you get to see on Instagram and interviews,
yeah.
or her acting in other roles, because I've seen her in 2 other projects. I've seen she was in The Americans,
Okay.
which is a I think it's based in the 70s. It's a Russian spy family moves to America to do spy things,
Okay.
and she's in it around the like last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Is a different person.
Yeah.
Is a completely different person. And then I saw her in a movie. I want to say it's Red State, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
It might be. Oh no, I think it's Waco. It might be Waco.
Okay. Yeah,
So there was Amazon Prime has a little like 6-parter.
Oh,
Waco.
is that the one where they're held up in a farm?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
based
yeah.
on the cult, right? There was
Yeah,
a cult.
yeah.
In
I
Waco,
watched
Texas.
that one. I
Yeah.
remember that one.
So I think she's in that as well.
Yeah,
Completely
she was.
like
Yeah.
So this transformation she's made to be Ruthie in Ozark is a full-on transformation. Like getting to watch her walk around, just walk it as Ruth Langmore in Ozark is poetry itself.
Yeah.
And you're not even talking about her saying any words or acting for real.
Yeah.
Like just walking is a
It's
treat.
like body acting, I guess.
It's a treat. Her whole performance is a treat, and I can't wait to see what she does for the rest of her career.
Is there an actor or actress that you would watch them in anything that they do, or like, I guess, a favorite actor or actress that would be in a show or a movie that would be like, yeah, I gotta go watch it because this person's in it?
I mean, I'm doing this show, so the list is definitely long.
Yeah.
Off the top of my mind, her.
Yeah.
So Julie Garner, Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, also Ozark.
Yeah.
Aaliyah Shawkat. She was also in Arrested Development. She played maybe Funke. She's in a show I'm probably going to talk about a lot soon called Search Party.
Yeah.
She's just, I mean, I don't have the words for how good an actress she seems to be.
Yeah.
Comedy, drama, thriller, whatever it is, she's just phenomenal.
I think that's one great thing is when you find those people that can play all those, like a variety of roles, like across different genres, right?
Yeah.
Like even Denzel, I would say is like one of my favorites,
Yeah.
and like he kills it no matter what type of
Yeah.
movie he's in, right?
Yeah. And I haven't seen everything he's done.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot, but I haven't seen everything he's done.
Yeah.
And I don't remember watching anything he's done thinking, I wish I got my money back for that.
Yeah.
Like the I think there are two movies for me Denzel is just phenomenal in, and like the whole movie and like the feelings it evokes. For me, Training Day.
Yeah.
Him in Training Day was an otherworldly performance. He was just so over the top. I mean, I guess by the end, he's just so over the top, and you get to watch him unravel. And I don't recall seeing him do anything like that before.
Yeah.
And then, what was the other Denzel thing? Man on Fire.
Oh, where he's the bodyguard, right?
Yeah, for Dakota
Yeah.
Fanning.
Yeah.
And both him and Dakota Fanning had me all up in my feelings.
Yeah.
Watching that movie, however 6, 8, 10 times I've seen that movie. I just every single time, even Mark Anthony.
Yeah, he did really
amazing.
well in his role there.
So, yeah, Denzel's huge, but all of those other people I mentioned, and a whole host of other people.
Yeah, I feel like Denzel is one of those guys that would be like, oh, it's a Denzel show or movie or like whatever it is. Even his son, I liked him in Ballers.
Yeah.
If there's something on TV and it's like Denzel, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll watch it.
Have you seen Tenet yet?
No, not yet. That's on the list.
Yeah, get a hold of Tenet when you can. That was good, and he was good in it. And as people may or may not know, I tend to struggle a little bit with some time travel.
Yeah.
But the movie was great, man. I liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Did you watch Higher Learning back in the day?
Is that weed movie with Method Man and
No. Oh, I think you're talking about How High. Higher? Are you higher right now?
Higher Learning.
Higher Learning. So it's like Omar Epps.
I feel like I can see the poster. I have not watched it.
I think Ice Cube. So this is like a
90s.
Yeah. But and that's one of the movies I'll keep on watching if it's on.
Okay.
But it's amazing how at that time it was about like racism and like there's a lot of like white supremacists versus
Michael Rappaport's in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's just skinhead.
Like, that's the one. And then it's just like amazing to see that something that was done so long ago is still so relevant to today.
We'll be here for hours if we get into all of that. But yeah,
but that was like one of those movies that's, I guess, just goes across time. I guess. Yeah. That was like a really dope one.
An unfortunate, timeless movie.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but
you'd wish that movie stopped being relevant. I don't know, the year after it was made.
Yeah, you would think.
You'd hope.
So, but that's one of those like I guess lasting movies that leave an impression.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember watching that one.
Higher Learning, sneaky recommendation coming in at the end.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, brother.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on the show. Everybody, thanks for watching. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, man.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
All right, later. Bye.